I was 244 this morning.
God bless you.
God bless you.
Oh shit! I gotta put in my headphones first. Hold on.
Me too. But are you on Instagram?
Hold on. I gotta put in my headphones first. Otherwise, I won't be able to get on.
What's up?
I am connected. All right. So back into Instagram. And now I'm hopping in. Remember, turn down your volume. All right. Right in there like swimwear.
Would you tag when you tagged me on Instagram and said that? Dude, that was so funny. I had no idea what you were talking about. Big Meech or whatever. That shit was so funny.
Oh, the Big Meech. Yeah.
I looked at that. I started.
Big Meech is a good name.
I started cracking up. Big Meech?
That's Rick Ross. I know everybody's looking at me like Tim doesn't know who Rick Ross is. You're right, I don't. I just know Big Meech.
I don't know. I know who Rick Ross is. I know who Big Meech was.
All right. So I told you that I had some good questions, and I do. I don't want to insult anybody that sent me questions, but I think your questions are going to be a lot better than mine. When I look back at my questions, and I was like, maybe I was a little off. I don't have a ton of.
Well, Marina stars all this or that bullshit.
You want to bang those out?
We can if you want. These are, like somebody just probably has to Google these. Would you rather sneeze for 100 days or cough for 100 days?
Fuck.
That sounds fucking horrible.
I think I would go with sneeze though. I hate coughing. I feel like the more I cough, especially when I'm sick, like right now I'm sick. I got back from the trip, and like as soon as we got off the airplane, everybody ended up getting sick. Bernard would rather cough. I don't know. I feel like the more I cough, the more it makes it worse, and then I get like that fucking infection shit. Like, making it happen. I'd rather sneeze.
I think I would say cough because I could have my eyes open.
Yeah, but either way, I'll keep people out of my face, so I don't care. I'll take either or, cough or sneeze, and then nobody will come anywhere near me, and I can be in isolation for the rest of my life.
Would you rather be embarrassed or be afraid? This is so stupid.
Embarrassed or afraid? I don't know. In reference to what? I probably pick afraid rather than embarrassed. Yeah. I don't get embarrassed very easily, so I think it would take it'd be a bad thing for me to get embarrassed. You know what I mean? It'd be a tough spot.
Yeah, that's true. I think I'd probably go with afraid.
Yeah, I'd probably go with afraid because when I think afraid, I'm thinking like like a fucking scary movie or some shit is happening, like something pretty cool might be happening. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So like maybe we're in a zombie apocalypse. I'm kind of scared. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not to get back on that topic, but I'm just saying I think I'd pick afraid.
Somebody asked this one last week when you were here: pancakes or waffles?
Pancakes.
That's what I said. But I think Matt and Marina said waffle?
Probably they're a bunch of losers. That's why they're not here today. For anybody that wants to know where Marina and Matt are, they're off eating fucking waffles.
Where Matt's in Vegas, right?
Yeah, Vegas working, which is a total lie. He's in Vegas right now, blowing lines and fucking slugging back beers as we speak. And Marina's in Puerto Rico drinking out of coconuts.
Is she really in Puerto Rico?
Yeah. What's a commie answer, Bernard?
Yeah, he's funny.
Call me a communist.
Connect 4 or tic-tac-toe?
Connect 4, definitely.
Yeah. Would you rather be 5'2" or 6'9"? 5'2".
No, fuck that. 6'9". That's only because you've lived. That's only because you've lived your whole life at 5'2". You know what I mean?
I'm 5'6".
Do I get to keep my body weight? Because then I would go 5'2" and I'd actually be a decent bodybuilder.
else these people got? Lay's or Pringles?
Lay's.
I'd say Lay's.
Yeah, definitely.
Would you rather eat instant noodles for breakfast or cereal for dinner? Cereal for dinner.
Cereal for dinner, definitely. Cereal over instant noodles, definitely.
Would you? This was pretty good. Would you rather foresee the future or change the past?
Fuck.
That's why I say that for that. It's pretty hard.
Yeah, see, that one's like more of like, that's not even a fun question. That's more like sentimental, changing the past. I think, I don't know. Because if you could see I'd change the past.
So I feel like if we could foresee the future, then you're definitely coming back fucking terrified. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, it's true. That's A.
You're
And then,
gonna see a bunch of shit like people dying, yourself. You know what I mean?
yeah, that's true. And you wouldn't have the power to change that in some cases. Like, you know what I'm saying?
So if we could just keep changing the past, I would go back to like when I'm 10, and then you're always 10.
Yeah. Yeah. But you could also, if you could change the past, you could change the shit that happens. So like you're saying, like you'd worry about people dying in the future. I could change if people are died in the past. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, it's true. I would say change the past.
For sure.
It's a pretty good question. All right, I'm done with this.
All right. So we got real questions now?
Yeah, I guess so. Guess we have to.
All right, might as well go one for one here. So I got knee sleeves or knee wraps. Any brand that you prefer, depending on which one you like, I guess.
So go to mommy. So I use sleeves every time I train quads. I've been for the last 3 years consistently. I don't think there's been a one quad workout I haven't used them.
Same.
But I tried knee wraps, like I have them. I've tried them more so like on the leg press and like a squatting movement, like the hack or the pendulum squat. But I just don't see the benefit from that with when I'm doing 12 to 15 reps. You know, like I feel like I have to cut the set short because to get the benefit from it, you have to put them so damn tight. And I feel like those are meant for like 1 to 3 reps. You know?
Yeah, honestly, I prefer knee sleeves in terms of the stability that they give me because you don't like I have the bad knee, but my thing is I honestly think the knee sleeves made my knee worse from when I was younger. You can't go wrong with Elmo. But I really think the knee wraps made my knees worse from heavy squatting back in the day when I was younger.
Because they make you do more, right?
I don't know if yeah, it definitely helps you do more for sure. And that's the reason why I like them so much. Like definitely it's going to help you get more out of it, but it also gives you more stability in my opinion too. Like my thing is now my knee is so like I get so like fucking basically arthritis. Like I have so much inflammation in there that for me, I lose a lot of stability when I go into the hole, either on a leg press or through the eccentric, hack squat, squatting, whatever it is. That's where I get really unstable in my left knee. So it's one of those things where for me, I want the stability. But again, knee sleeves for me just seem like my knees have been better since I switched from knee wraps to knee sleeves. And I really haven't changed weight over the course of the last few years, right? It's because, again, I stopped squatting heavy. I stopped back squatting, period, years ago, right? So I don't know. I think for me, it's always been a thing where I noticed knee sleeves, they might not give me as much stability as the knee wraps did, but my knees are better off because of knee sleeves, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pick sleeves over wraps. And as far as a brand, I don't fucking know. I bought one pair of knee sleeves off of Amazon, like fucking, I don't know, however many years ago, 8 years ago or some shit like that. And I've never had a different pair. I've been using the same pair the entire time. They smell like shit and I love them. What's up, Coleman?
Fucking hockey bag. Yo, Coleman. I used the SBD ones and then I had them for years, and then those ripped. The inner lining ripped, like when I came down on like a leg press, and after I think I got like 5 years out of them, so it was worth it. And then the Iron Rebel ones I for like 3 years.
Everybody keeps telling me to go Iron Rebel because they're a little bit more secure and provide a little bit more.
I like them. They stay shit, but
I just heard you have to order a size up, like they're small.
I think I have 2XL.
Because the arm, I have tiny little arms. I got little noodle arms, and the elbow sleeves are fucking tiny, and I think I have a large. Well, like my elbow sleeves legitimately cut off my circulation.
I have the elbow things I use are like the little thin ones. They just
the Iron Rebel ones.
Yeah, they're like small though. They go like from
Yeah,
30
tiny, but they legitimately large cuts off my circulation. Like I have to
I think
pull them
mine
off.
are, I think mine are like 13 inches.
Do they go by inches? I thought they go by
Yeah.
large and small shit.
No, I thought
I
they
don't
were-
know. Maybe, but all I know is I got to whatever they are on mine. They're too small. I can't leave them on in between sets. My fingers go purple.
That's not good.
No, no. They do help though. The elbow sleeves definitely help. So maybe I got to try the Iron Rebel knee sleeves.
They're good. They're really good. I like them. Leg training outline for quad growth.
Wait, say it again.
What is a good leg training outline for quad growth?
I have a good follow-up question for this one.
So I
Go ahead.
messaged this kid. He's a young kid. I messaged him back and I asked how much food he was eating. And he told me he's like, I'm eating a lot. And me and him went back and forth today over Instagram message. But he literally took a picture of his diet, like a screenshot of his notes, and I was like, dude, you're not even eating 2,500 calories. And I was like, so you're definitely not going to grow. You got to eat more. But I mean, right. So this has been my quad workout. Honestly, this exact order for probably 10 years. I start with abductors. I do a hamstring curl of some sort. And then I'll do leg press, whether it's the hip press or the normal leg press. Then I go into it's either split squats or sissy squats. I'll then do leg extensions, and then I do my squat movement last.
So I actually recently switched it up to add some hamstrings because I used to do hamstrings and quads separately, but without enough time nowadays because I really got to give my arms enough time. So I train arms exclusively on Wednesdays now where I used to do hamstrings. So now on Saturdays, I do both hamstrings and quads. So I switched it up a little bit, but for years, I did just straight up quads on Saturdays, and it would be adductors and quads, essentially calves, adductors, and then I would go into leg extensions, and then I would go into some sort of squat pattern, whether it was a hack squat, a pendulum, maybe even a leg press. But it was some sort of heavy squat pattern like that, and then I would follow it up with whether that's lunges, whether that is leg extension maybe, because obviously we had declined leg extension over a tendon, so I could load it differently. So I would load it in the shortened position to start, and then I would load it in the lengthened position after squatting, right, to get the lengthened portion fried. And honestly, dude, and I've had people come with me, even Bernard, who, Bernard's a 240-pound competitor in the offseason. You know what I mean? He's not a bitch by any measure when it comes to training. And I even had him come with me not that long ago. And I'm telling, for most people, honestly, I really think you could destroy your quads with just leg extensions and some sort of hack squat or pendulum or whatever squat variation you want to do thereafter. And like that's enough to fry most people's quads. And then from there, if you want to add in stuff for metabolic work, like I said, leg press, lunges, something like that, to get a little bit more metabolic stimulus out of it. I usually have everybody do that same exact line up, maybe variations a little bit there, maybe again, Bulgarian squat at the end, whatever it might be at the end, just to kind of mix things up a little bit. But pretty standard leg extension, heavy squat movement, and then some more metabolic work. And that usually fries everybody. Lately, I've been doing just leg extensions, hamstring curl, some sort of heavy squatting pattern, and then back to another hamstring movement, and then I'm fried. But literally, my leg days really don't last more than like outside of quads and calves. I'm sorry, outside of adductors and calves, my leg day legitimately doesn't last usually more than like 3 or 4 exercises max. That's like 4 would be maxing out.
Yeah, I'd say, well, I just have a mental thing with always squatting last because it's just kind of how I started training with, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also too, my knees just always feel the best when I squat last.
Yeah, I can't go right into squats, no chance.
No
or leg presses or anything like that.
Yeah,
Any
no.
variation.
By the time I'm done adductor, like 1-2 working sets, and then like 2-3 good hamstring curl sets. I've been the last handful of months. I've been doing the line leg curl because the one I have in my shed is a plate loaded one, and the weight is distributed right in the middle. Mm-hmm. So everything on the hamstring is so even. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I've been doing that, and then I go into leg press, but it takes me a good 5-6 sets before I'm at my first top set easily.
Oh yeah.
Easily. And and then I'll do. I've been doing the Cybex, my Cybex one a lot, and if my erectors are killing me, or they're like tight or sore, I'll just do the hip press. But I've been pretty good with the Cybex probably at least the last 2 months. But that thing's a fucking bitch. I don't know if you ever did it.
There's honestly, I know a lot of people would hate on this, but like, there's something to be said. A good leg press, like, dude, because I've been training at LA Fitness, which the LA Fitness leg press just fucking sucks balls. Like, you know, it's not great. And I mean, listen, you can get the job done anyway. Period. Anyway, it tells you they can't get the job done. Then your leg press just being a bitch. Like, you can leg press with any, but a good leg press is like underrated. You know what I mean? A good leg press, a hip press, like, yeah, underrated.
So I have the hammer strength hip press, and then I have that Cybex leg press. It's funny when Riley did that, dude. He was, I mean, that thing humbles you, dude. At like 5-6 plate, it's ridiculous, that leg press.
Yeah.
But I've always kept my quad training at higher reps, like always. I don't think I go any lower ever than 10, and like usually it's around like 15.
Yeah.
On every
quad, it's hard to go wrong with quad training. Like, if you're not growing from quads, either you're not training hard enough. Because I mean, like, think about it. It's hard to make a shitty leg day if you're doing some sort of squats. If you're starting off with leg extensions, which is classic, you know what I mean? You start off with leg extensions, you go into some sort of heavy squatting pattern, and then you do a leg press or something like that. It's hard to fuck that up. It's just most people aren't going. I think the biggest thing with training quads is usually going to be it's mind over matter. You know what I mean? Like, physically, you always have so much more to give than you can handle mentally. And if somebody doesn't believe that, it's because you haven't been pushed hard enough on leg day to be able to get there.
Yeah, I think I always say, like, I think the biggest tips, and this is what I tell clients too, is obviously good eccentric, right? Control, ensure that you're not lowering the weight just on your knee joints and tendons, right? Making sure it's on the muscle, right? Getting fucking deep and at least having a slight pause in the hole.
Which that's probably the big thing, though. As much as it's like people can easily say that about squatting, like it's an easy thing to bring up, but it's also the most common thing where you see people shorten up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and intensity. You have to, like, if you think you are done, like, you have to just literally try and go again.
Yeah.
And then when you think you're done again, just try and go again.
Right.
Especially like exercises like the leg press, right? Like, most leg presses have different stopping points, right? So God forbid, like, you fail, okay, you press it up even halfway and you fail, just, you can rack it, you know, it's safer versus a barbell squat. Like, now you're ditching it, you know, you risk fucking hurting your neck and, you know, hitting your ankles and all that shit. But, you know, even like a pendulum squat or a hack squat, like, if you have to bottom out, like, so fucking be it. You know, and
it's also one of those things, people are afraid to do that, but you get used to that over time, where it's almost something where it becomes less scary no matter how much weight you have on there. Yeah.
All right, what do you got?
The next one was shoulder routine, 5 best exercises for shoulders.
I like cable side raise. Like,
yeah,
I like dumbbell side raises. I like machine side raises. I like a shoulder press.
Right.
And a good rear delt.
Yeah. So we're going to end up being the same. Lateral raise until you can't lateral raise anymore. Do some sort of a press, hit your rear delts, and you're done. I like crucifix lateral raises where you set up in a bench. Yeah,
that's
you have the cuffs.
Incline bench. Yeah, the cuffs. They're so nice. But a lot of people fuck up because I'll see they go too heavy and they stop right here. You got to put your shit all the way the fuck up to over your head.
Yep, get short in that position, and then from there, I'll usually start with a dumbbell lateral raise, you know what I mean, and that'll get it in the shortened position, and then I'll go to the crucifix lateral raise, which will get us through that mid to shortened position, and then I'll do the cable one where I get in that lengthened position really well, you know what I mean. If I've set it up at wrist height, it loads in that lengthened position, and then from there, overhead presses, and then something for rear delts is probably where you can finish off there easily. But if you're not growing there, it's because you're doing those lateral raises wrong, or you're half repping the shoulder presses. I see that's another half repper big time too with the shoulder pressing.
Yeah, it's like, listen, it looks great if you have 4 plates on the hammer strength, but it's like what are you doing? You know, like
Yeah.
pause, hold, you know, make sure you're going down slow, good, deep, and then all the way up and contract, you know.
Yep.
I think too with shoulders, that's another I think pain like there's like a pain barrier. Like you have to be good and get good at just going past like that burn because it's such a small muscle. So the localized pain is much greater than say like your back, you know? So like people like if you're at 12 reps and it's like keep going on a side raise, you know what I mean? Like you're only going to benefit from it. You got to get pat and then like well, you know how it is, dude. Like when you're at failure on a side raise and like you do like 10 partials, they're like fucking impossible.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you have to get past that. You know, people. I think that will help a lot of people like understanding just how to get like those intensifiers helps you get past failure to just help you grow more.
Mm-hmm.
I had this guy literally just put trend dosing ?
Trend dosing ?
That's all it says.
Yeah.
Yeah, Coleman, they're I know exactly they're shrugged up and they're going too heavy. Yeah, I know what you mean. And also that's a good point too. Make sure your shoulders are retracted down and back, and then side raise.
Yeah, that's why I like chest supported side raise using the bench to be able. Yeah. Wait, what was so trend dosing is what we're on now.
Yeah, it just says trend dosing ?
So the one thing I would say about trend dosing is most of the time, like I just had a new client come on and they were on 400 milligrams of trend right out of the gate, and they were only like 6 weeks into dieting. And then I let him stick to where because we had a lot to do as far as changes to the diet and shit like that. So I let him stick to everything for it was like a week or so, and then of course immediately started to get a gyno flare up, which. If you're running high dosages of trend and you're getting a gyno flare up, the first thing that I'm looking at is not estrogen. It's going to be prolactin-induced gyno. Yeah, and that's a bitch. We've obviously both dealt with that with clients recently where it's just one of those things where now it's like finding Caber. Caber's expensive as hell. It's just you're not only are we going to deal with other side effects by the time your prolactin's that high, right? You're probably not sleeping well at night. You're probably walking around with just fucking, fucking tense and stressed to the fucking gills, which I know a lot of people just, think that that's, whatever, like trend agitation and anger and all that different stuff. But that's also going to be something that's going to cause some downstream effects in terms of your ability to be able to optimally burn fat, be in that parasympathetic state, yada, 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 recover well, all that different stuff. But the bottom line here with trend for me is like not whatever dose you can tolerate. Like I might find somebody can tolerate 200, 300 milligrams of trend. And that is a high dosage for trend acetate that we're going to run previous to a show, like immediately, like close to that show, like whatever, 4 to 6 weeks out or whatever, to really just get some sort of a look. That we're going for, really, right? And it's going to impact training too at those times where you're dead tired, you're slow, you're exhausted, all that different stuff in the gym. You add in that trend, it's a fucking world of difference there. But again, even 300 milligrams a lot. Most people can't sustain that at that point. You know what I mean? Because they are now losing sleep. Everything's getting harder to sustain because of that trend. So for me, honestly, the dosage that I found that's really a sweet spot for most people is like 100 to 150 milligrams, and like that's enough to have a pretty solid impact on the physique in terms of the way that it looks, and it's bearable.
Yeah. So, I think. Anywhere between 6 and 8 weeks to start that. Some people, depending, you can even start it at 4. But I say anywhere between 6 and 8. It's like, I'm not saying it's definite, but I'm saying like that common ground. And I feel like sometimes I'll start someone at like 70 or 25 every other day, so they're between 75 and 100. Mm-hmm. And then if that's at 8 weeks out, say, for example, say that at 6 weeks out, I might bring them, I might bring it to, either keep it or bring it up a tiny bit. You know what I mean? So they're not at too much. And then at 4 weeks out, possibly go to an every day. Again, it also depends on what kind of show. Like, is it a national show? Is it a regional show? That I might do the every day.
Level of the competitor.
Too. I was going to say, like, is it their first freaking time using it? I'll probably have them do that every day injection with the insulin needle at 2 weeks out, right? Like, and probably have them do 20 a day,
Mm-hmm.
20, 25 milligrams a day. So right there, we're at that sweet spot around like 150, you know?
Yeah.
But I think starting at around that 25 every other day, so they're between that 75 and 100 to start. You can assess the tolerance, the side effects. You can get enough feedback over the first 2, 3, 4 weeks of it, and then go from there, right? So, I mean, from there, if it's, you know, like I said, 25 every other day, maybe then go to like 50 every other day. You know, if they're tolerant. There's so much that you can do with a drug like that. Same thing with like a Masteron, right? You can go to 25 or 30 or 30, you know, and because you can so accurately dose it, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So, but I agree with you. I don't really think anybody over 200 is relatively needed, you know?
Yeah.
When I did Junior USA's 3 years ago, that was my best look, my best conditioning, and the least amount of overall combined and prep I took. Obviously, it was more, of course, than the off season. Granted, you know, it's just obviously more drugs, but that was the lowest amount of Trent I've ever taken. And I think Johnny started me at 6 weeks. So for the Philly show, I wasn't on it, and then it was 6 weeks out. I started it that Monday. He started me at 25 every other day. And then I think at 4 weeks out, he went to every day, and I think I was at 15 a day.
Yeah.
And my sleep was okay, actually.
That's what I'm saying. That's where I find it to be most tolerable is when you're doing those small everyday injections instead of bolus ones, like, you know, 3 times a week or whatever it is.
Oh, dude, I'll tell you what, it was like so much better on my anxiety too. Like, way
See, that's the
better.
thing for me. I can't like the anxiety, like, and this is the one thing that I've noticed with other people too. Like I in the past, I've tried to start at the higher dosages. You know what I mean? And then, you know, I'll eventually be put in a situation because of the anxiety that I'll have to come down, or because of sleep or whatever it is that I have to come down in dosage. And I've had this happen with clients too, where I would always rather go in the opposite way, where it's like, hey, let's start really low and work up. And I know that sounds reasonable, but again, when you're not thinking that way and you're just starting at 300 milligrams because you think that's the amount of trend that you can tolerate, now the look as you get closer to the show starts to change a little bit because that massive dosage is changing. The impact on the glucocorticoid receptor is going to change. So it's just one of those things where it's like with a drug like Tren, I would always want to start small and work my way up instead of trying to start at a larger dosage and get something out of it and then have to come down because it does have such a dramatic impact on the way that you look, you know?
Yeah, I would also too rather, like, I'm very big on like Masteron and higher dosages or Primo. I'd rather both the Masteron and Prep be way higher, you know?
100%. Especially for somebody that is more experienced too. Like that to me, Masteron is that drug where it's like, listen, you know, if somebody's at that point where they're going into a national level show and everything's on the table, then it's like, okay, well, listen, you know, Masteron might get up there if they could tolerate it well enough at, you know, whatever, a gram, 1.2 grams, like depending on the individual. And that's usually going to be something where, because we're on it long enough, now we get to the point where it's like most people are putting in Tren. We needed it at that point now. Maybe we can say for like 4 weeks not to have that big dramatic impact on a look at that, you know?
What do you got?
Does it mean anything if I don't sweat during a hard workout?
No. I hate sweating. I try not
that
to.
Like there is that I just googled it. I don't even know how to pronounce this. Hypohidrosis, is that what that is?
That's when you don't sweat.
Yeah, right. But that's like a sweat gland issue, right? And I doubt that's going to be the scenario here. I'm sure there's also something that's going to have to do there with the kidney function. I know this person has this question. We get blood work regularly. They definitely don't have any kidney issues going on. So, you know, if it's not those two things, probably realistically just the fact that like you're fucking working out in a well air conditioned gym and like realistically it's probably just not hot enough, whether you're training hard or not. Like put a hoodie on. I bet you $1 million. I guarantee, you know, 9 out of 10 people that say they don't sweat when they train, they're wearing a tank top of some sort. You know what I mean? Put a hoodie on, and I guarantee you'll be fucking dripping sweat.
Yeah, yesterday and today it was fucking hot, and I mean, I had my shed at like 64.
Yeah, exactly.
And I had my hoodie. I still had my sweatshirt on, and I was fucking pouring sweat.
Yeah, you train in a hoodie, you'll definitely sweat.
It fucking sucks. All right, what do you got? You got anything?
Well, can you get flatter after having a refeed or a free meal?
Absolutely.
Yeah. You eventually you shouldn't, right? Like that should be something that you figure out, especially when you're in prep and the refeed or the free meal is something that you're using to your advantage in that way in terms of filling yourself out. Like you shouldn't get flatter after those. You should figure it out to a point where it's like if you're still getting flat and let's say you're whatever, let's say it's 4 weeks out from a show, 3 weeks out from a show, and you're still getting flat after a refeed or a free meal, it's because you're not eating enough. Right. So at the end of the or that metabolism runaway train, you're burning the amount of food that you need to not be flat after that refeed or free meal to the point where now you have more of a solid concept of what needs to be done going into that show to actually fill out and have the look that we want.
Right. Yeah, I was gonna say, I think, obviously when refeeds and shit start coming in early in prep, right? Like, I don't know, say you're 12 weeks out or whatever, right? Like, sure, the goal, at that point is, the goal always is to keep your metabolism moving, right? And, get the metabolic spike. And at some point, it's to see what's filling you up, what's not, if you need more, if you need less, what the look is, where your weight's at, and all that. But like you said, if you're 3-4 weeks out and your coach is refeeding you 1 or 2 days in a row and there's a free meal in there, or it's just a fuck ton of more food, and like you're still like flat, like you should at least be full for a day or two, before you start to get back into a depletion.
Yeah, I would say if you're still flat there, you're either not finding the amount of food that you need, or if it is a fuck ton of food, like you just said, it's probably you need to back off the lipolytics. You need to back off the thyroid. You need to back off the Clen a little bit. You need to back off whatever you.
That was what I was going to say.
For sure. Eventually, it's definitely going to be that. But lipolytics in general, maybe even cardio, like you got to back off some of the physical exertion. So many people during prep, especially, they get a refeed and their immediate thing is, I want to go train. I want to go train. I'm getting fed. I want to go train. Sometimes it's better off to not train at all when you're getting those refeeds. Allow that food to load up and then go train.
That's what I mean. You have to sometimes refeed people on fucking days they're off.
100%. I tell people no training.
Is revving. So like, say I have a client, I refeed them on Saturday, and then like they're Phil Fisker, do you know that guy, Josh Moore?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know Josh Moore. I know Phil, obviously.
They said when did Phil Fisker with glorious beard?
I don't know. I haven't seen him in a while.
I think he's talking about me.
Oh.
I don't want to be compared to Phil Fisk. But the fuck was I saying? Oh, refeeding on an off day.
Yeah.
So like say a client's 4 weeks out and they're training Saturday, I refeed them and they send me photos and their weight Sunday morning. It's like, okay, they gained 1 pound, but you can still see they only filled up halfway. It's like, I'm fucking refeeding you again that fucking day where there's no pre and post meals and you're just going to sit the fuck on your ass, get your steps in, you know what I mean? Get some digestion walks and fucking just sit there and let that food stick. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been there too, Bernard, where I've been refed and like, I'm like 2 weeks out and I'm like, it looks like I'm showering as I'm sleeping.
Yeah. Bernard's also, he's in a reverse diet right now. So for him, he's at the lowest. We've actually been maintaining a pretty low body weight, like 226, coming out of a reverse diet, which for him is really good.
Looks good.
No, we just did a cleanup phase. We still got another.
He's gonna have to come down to the shed, do some quads.
Well, he's down already. He's in DC or Virginia, Northern Virginia.
Oh, that's where he lives?
Yep.
Well, I guess he's coming up.
Damn straight.
How many more you got?
I only have 2 more.
Are they like good?
I feel like I talk about them all the time, or at least this one I talk about all the time. Go ahead. What do you got?
What is your current diet?
My current diet? Fucking diet soda and fucking Zins. That's every meal.
I've been back pretty structured now for about a month. So let me pull it up. I'll read it. I'm just gonna do my training days. So my cardio is at 20 minutes, 5 times. Sometimes I do 25. What the fuck is he talking about?
I don't fucking know.
All right. So my current diet, meal one is 4 whole eggs, 240 grams of white potato, 2 turkey sausage patties, 85 grams of blueberries, 25 grams of whey, and 200 grams of orange juice. Second meal is 210 grams of chicken, 8 grams of macadamia nut oil, 185 grams of white rice. And then my pre-workout meal is 50 grams of isolate, 120 grams of Krusty's pancake mix, 100 grams of banana, 35 grams of raw honey, 5 units of insulin. Intra-workout, I have 40 grams of Gatorade powder. Post-workout, I have 210 grams of chicken, 300 grams of rice, 165 grams of pineapple. Meal 5, I have 220 grams of 93 beef, 250 grams of white rice, 45 grams of avocado. And my final meal is 2 Dan and Layton Fits, 25 grams of isolate, 4 whole eggs, 30 grams of almond butter, and 50 grams of blueberries.
I'm much more like for myself right now. I'm much more. Coleman asked, no McDonald's, Tim. No, I did have some Popeyes the other day. I was very disappointed in the Popeyes.
Oh wait, so hold on real quick. Now my ADD went on. My client Nico, who did Big Cat last year, this motherfucker is like a general manager of the East Coast for Popeyes. This scumbag walks into the hotel room and goes, "Steve, open your hands." 50, dude, no bullshit. There was probably 20 to 25 gift cards to Popeyes. I'm like, bro, what the fuck are these? He's like, these are just gift cards that like.
Damn straight, Bernard.
He's like, these are just gift cards that like customers will forget, and then like they give to the employees or the managers. Dude, when I got the net on that Monday after Big Cat, I called. Dude, there was like $480 of gift cards. I still have like.
Honestly, I haven't had Popeyes in so long, and I saw like a fucking. I saw some shit on like I didn't like it wasn't maybe it was the one that I got from. I remember it being delicious. That's why I wanted it. But I watched like some food review or something like that on Facebook, and it sucked me in to the point where literally the other night I spent like $60 on Popeyes. I got a spicy chicken sandwich meal with mac and cheese. I got fucking 12-piece nugget with fries, and I got a quarter-pound thing of popcorn shrimp with mashed potatoes, and I got the 3 biscuits. And I went ham, but like I literally didn't even finish any of it. I finished the sandwich and maybe like 1 or 2 of the biscuits.
Popeyes after this.
I'm telling you, dude, it wasn't worth it. It really wasn't that good. I wish I would have gotten McDonald's.
$100 of gift cards.
Yeah, you might as well, or sell it on eBay. Sell your $300 on eBay for $400. Bernard will buy it. Bernard will definitely bid. But no, my diet right now has been very much like I've gone like the hippie route. I'm just worried about my health and making sure that I got everything in check from a health perspective. So I'm all like very much like minimal starchy carbohydrate right now. A lot of fruit, a lot of healthy fats. Yeah, a lot of healthy fats, a lot of different protein sources, but primarily like bison. I have like grass-fed steak that I'm thawing out for dinner tonight, salmon, always with my ground chicken just because easy. And then what's up?
Like salmon?
I love some air fried salmon. Oh yeah, it's fucking delicious. Yeah, I can
literally just oh god, fuck that.
I'm into it. I love it. I could do some salmon for sure. With some spicy hot, some sweet and spicy mustard.
I know you like some raw fish.
I love some sushi too, yeah. But like when I say a lot of fruit, I'm eating a lot of fruit right now. Every meal I have some sort of fruit. But yeah, I'm trying to be as healthy as I can right now and just make sure that remember a lot of you guys are youngins, you know what I mean? Still in the game. Tim's too old for that shit and just trying to be around with my kids.
Food I've eaten in like 3 years, dude.
Yeah.
I feel it, but I'm fucking starving.
Tim's on keto and coffee enema. Yeah, exactly. That's me right now. That's exactly what I am right now. We're fucking raw cheese, unpasteurized milk, and kefir all goddamn day. That's where I'm at right now.
But yeah, no, I'm happy with my food right now. It's pretty fucking good amount.
Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I don't miss it. It's one of those things where like it's hard to get away from mentally once you've been in it for so long. It's almost one of those things where it's like I don't want to say I crave anything because I really don't at this point. With the amount of food that I've had to eat in the past, like I really don't crave like sitting down and eating a giant thing of fucking rice and chicken. Like, and that's like those things almost haunt me in my nightmares where I'd have like 130 grams of cooked chicken and then I have 400 grams of white rice. And I'm basically just sitting there eating white rice by itself with like little pebbles of ground chicken mixed in there.
I hate eating the protein, dude. I fucking can't stand it.
Yeah, but see, for me, I used to eat I would eat up to 200 grams of protein, raw protein per meal. You know what I mean?
I'm freaking at 210 right now. I fucking hate it.
To be honest with you, that's the only thing. That's the time where I enjoyed it the most, just because again, I'd have at least even distribution of carbs to fucking protein.
I texted Johnny. I said, if that shit goes up 1 more gram, I'm putting fucking breadcrumbs on my chicken.
Yeah.
But I'm cracking 2 eggs in a bowl, putting every meal breadcrumbs on all the chicken.
Omar asked what kind of fruit I'm eating. Literally everything. Right now I have raspberries, blueberries, bananas, which are all common ones. But I've been mixing it up too, where I get like a lot of mangoes. What else have I gotten recently? A lot of pineapples, cantaloupe, apples, plums. I've been getting a lot of lately. Watermelon I'll get. I've even gotten weird shit recently too. Like I tried dragon fruit, star fruit, jackfruit, like all this random shit that I can find in either Whole Foods or some sort of white people grocery store.
My fruit's always just basic. It's blueberries, pineapple, and banana.
Yeah. And that's the way it was when I was dieting and trying to either get big or get small one way or the other. It was just, all that standard food. That's where I'm at right now. It's just trying to look at my food more from like a general health perspective, the amount of nutrition that it gives me. You know what I mean? So like, again, like protein sources, like I'll have ground chicken just because it's easy. But for the most part, most of my protein sources are going to be something that yields some nutritional value. Like this morning for breakfast, I had 7 whole eggs. You know what I mean? And I had 2 grams of raw cheese, unpasteurized cheese, and I had 100 grams of raspberries, 100 grams of blueberries. You know what I mean? My next meal was ground chicken, but I had ground chicken with a little bit of rice, and it was coated in, I had 15 grams of macadamia nut oil in there. And then I had, what did I have on the side? I have whole fat Greek yogurt that I had with that. And I think I had more berries with that meal. But like, essentially, I'm just trying to get the good quality nutrition out of my food right now. So exploring different options is a big thing for me right now, because again, not that I felt like I was stuck in a very standard place when it comes to competing. It's just that like at the end of the day, you do get stuck in those places. You know what I mean? I didn't feel like I was stuck when I was there, but when you look back at it, it's kind of like you never had fucking star fruit on your plan. You never had fucking, jackfruit or whatever. Yeah, well, you know what I'm saying. Yeah, you absolutely do have that shit on there. Who you kidding, bro?
Right. Remember when we had Johnny on here and you were busting my balls? I looked at Johnny and I'm like, yo, can I get a cheesesteak tonight? He's like, yeah, I suppose.
Crusty pancake mix in there too, dude. That was my go-to for a long time. Bernard probably had a crusty pancake in his plan back in
that just died. Like, so I fucking, by now, you know me well enough by now. I fucking hate cream of rice.
Yeah.
Like, I don't fucking, it's disgusting to me. I've eaten it like for years and years, but I'm like, if I can have something that's equivalent in terms of the macros, no fat, like low fat, and just super easy on my stomach, why not? So,
you know who used to kill the Krusty's pancakes back in the day that I used to make for him all the time? Fucking Jeff Long. Used to love those Krusty's pancakes.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Yeah, Coleman, I fucking hate cream of rice, dude. I can't. It's disgusting. It tastes like it's like almost as like I'm fucking eating the sand at the beach with disgusting whey protein. I'm also not big on whey. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't put whey protein in my cream of rice. Fuck that. I put that in a cup, fucking shake it up, drink it down, and like that.
So here's the thing, dude. Like, being 240 fucking 50 pounds, like I'm not eating 40 grams of cream of rice like we would have a 130-pound chickie. So for us, like at that body weight, dude, like we're eating 110, 120 grams. If I spend money on that flavored shit, it's like I need to eat 4 bags a week, dude.
It's true, and it's fucking crazy. But honestly, see, I was always the opposite way around, where it's like I didn't want to have it if it was going to be the small amounts. because I used to feel like it was a waste of fucking food having like 30, 40 grams of it. Like if I'm in prep and things get really low and somebody still has me eating like 60 grams of cream of rice, you know what I mean? I'm like, this isn't fucking, it's not like there's nothing there. Like I'll mix up 60 grams of cream of rice and it's like nothing. Like if it's not whatever, 80, 100, 120 grams per serving, I don't even want the cream of rice. But I love cream of rice though. When it's in that amount,
you're nuts, dude. I
fucking love it. Delicious.
And I don't even want the whey on my plan. Like Johnny knows that too. I don't like it. I fucking rather have the food, but it's like, I'm not eating chicken for a fourth time during the day with fucking pancake mix pre-workout. The whey is just quicker and easier on my gut with the pancake mix, right? And then in the morning, I'm allergic to egg whites. You know what I mean? I have a horrible fucking sensitivity to them. So it's to get another 25 grams of protein with the whole eggs. It's like, and the sausage, the turkey sausage patties, you know, he wants me around 60 grams. So the 4 whole eggs and the turkey sausage together, I think they're 38. Right. So the scoop of the 25 grams away, I just fucking take a scoop down real quick. It's 63 grams. Yeah. So I don't like whey. We've talked about this plenty. I don't like whey. I know we both don't like whey. I've never liked it. I've never been a fan of it. Just again, taste like it, and again, it doesn't do anything for satiety for me whatsoever. Like I'm hungry 5 seconds. If you're a new day shitfluencer, you know, you have like these cocoa pebble.
Oh, a new day. I got you.
New day, yeah, the new day shitfluencers. There's like cereal fucking whey protein now. I'm like, what is like? There's like coconut flakes and fucking.
But it all tastes the same. Still, I don't give a shit what anybody says. It all tastes
like if I want something chocolate flavor, I'm going to get a milkshake. I've never liked it. Never been a fan, dude.
But the key with it is it's easy. Like that's the best. That's the benefit. It's easy.
Yeah. No, and that's why he has me do it. You know, but like before bed, he had it, and I told him like, dude, I really don't want to drink this shit like 3 times a day. So that's why he does the 2 Dan and Lighten fits with a scoop. You know.
Yeah.
So I have 2 more. You want to go? You want to read one?
No, go ahead. I got one more.
What is your current back training?
My current back training, I split over 2 sessions in the week. And the first session, I'm usually hitting, honestly, a high iso rope hammer pull down to hit the lower lat. And then I'm hitting something for more upper back. And then from there, on my other session, that's when I'll get into like the heavier rows, whether it's a machine row, a dumbbell row, et cetera, a Smith machine row, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's when I'm going to go with a little bit more of the heavier row. Whereas that first one, I'm going to go with more upper back stuff.
Yeah. I just did back today. So since I went back on everything and I'm eating more now, I increased the volume. So I do straight bar cable pullover. And then I do a single arm pull on the cable from like the high spot, the high cable cam. And then I'm doing Smith machine barbell row with a 2 count hold at the top. I do 2 working sets of like 10 to 12 there. And then I'm doing the plate loaded T-bar row. And then the single arm ISO, and then I've been finishing actually with rack pulls. I haven't done them in years. I'm going up to like 2. Today I did 2 sets with 405 for 15. So, but I've never done them with a full dead stop on the rack, and I've been doing them now the last month, and those feel actually really, really good. With that full dead stop at the bottom, I feel like my lats like kind of re-engage, and then when I pull, so. Yeah, that's what I've been doing now, I think, for 6 weeks straight. Feels good.
When it comes to back, you can get cute with shit, but like at the end of the day, rows are what's going to probably be. And again, I know we could break this down to like, do we need more lats or do we need more back thickness? That's usually what I'll do. But if somebody needs to develop their overall back, you're not going to go wrong with rows. You know what I mean? There's like 97 different variations. Yeah, there's like 97 different variations of rows, whether it's machine-based rows, whether it's free weight rows. There's so many different variations. If you go in there and you pick 3 or 4 different rows per week and you just hammer those, right? You're going to end up growing that back as far as thickness and or lats. Somebody asked in the chat, what are some good 0 low-calorie sauces for someone on a cut?
The the sugar-free ketchup. I like plain mustard, spicy mustard. There's that Southwest mustard that's good as
Yeah,
shit.
straight there is.
Those Flavor Gang sauces I know people are big on. The G. Hughes barbecue.
G Hughes, a lot of people like. I know that's one that's like popular right now. I'm not a big fan of those. Maybe I haven't tried the right ones. I had only tried the barbecue sauces.
Yeah,
And I
me
wasn't
too.
a big fan. I felt those tasted really like sweetener. Shit.
Melinda's is good too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's honestly, I would just say fucking mustard and hot sauce, dude. You can't go wrong with mustard and hot sauce. And if you're on a cut, especially if you're in prep, like those are the two where you're going to be able to get away with the most different options that you find. And at the end of the day, just get used to fucking yellow mustard.
When I'm in prep, it's the same shit as I use like any other fucking day. I use spicy mustard, sugar-free ketchup, and Frank's Red
And
Hot.
just for the record, Cassie, I know there's a lot of you new kids out there that are eating Melinda's and fucking all these other Frank's Red Hot is still the only hot sauce that really
that's
hits.
OG.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with Frank's.
You have one more?
Yeah. Can you gain weight if you tracked calories for one day, hit your protein goals, but your carbs and fats were off from what your macros were set at? So in other words, I guess this person tracked their calories and hit their protein goals, but they didn't hit what their fats and carbs were supposed to be. They might have been all, but their total calories were still in range. Does that make sense? You know what I'm saying? So let's just say, I don't know, these numbers aren't going to add up, but let's just say I had somebody set for 200 grams of carbs, 200 grams of protein, and 50 grams of fat, right? And they're like, and that, let's just say that equaled 2,000 calories to make the math easy. They stayed at 2,000 calories, hit their 200 grams of protein, but they had 100 grams of fat and only 100 grams of carbs. And it's still all equal 2,000 calories.
It depends. What was your expenditure for the day? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, there's definitely a lot of variables there, but I would say don't fucking do it. Like if you have a set macros, like stop playing the game. Yeah, eat the food that you're supposed to eat, whether you're on a meal plan or if you're tracking macros, track your fucking macros. Don't worry about the calories that you're consuming. Stick to the macros. The macros are there for a reason, right? Because now what you're saying is, hey, and don't get me wrong, there is a lot of research that says like, hey, if calories and protein are equated and you're in a deficit, you're still going to lose weight. And that is true, right? But if you've been on a plan where you've been eating X amount of carbohydrate over and over and over again, X amount of fat over and over and over again, and then you switch that up abruptly on one given day, and you have whatever, let's just say it's an extra 50 grams of carbs, right? With carbs comes water. You're definitely going to gain weight from that, 100%. And your calories are going to equate, your protein's going to equate, and that's all great. But you're going to gain acute amount of weights there based on that water retention, glycogen replenishment, cell volumization, like all that costs weight, right? It costs scale weight. And again, we need to look at the bigger picture here, which is really body fat reduction over a period of time. That's what's most important, right? So again, I do have clients that are tracking their macros, and I might tell them like, hey, if you're going away here or you're going out to eat or whatever, just worry about getting a good amount of protein and sticking within your calorie goal. That's fine for that moment. But again, we're not going to freak out about scale weight gain, right? But I wouldn't tell a client to take liberty and do that over and over and over again, because then you're going to end up with all these ebbs and flows where it's really hard to have like consistent management of something that's not being measured properly.
right. Yeah, I agree. All right. My last one was how to balance competitive bodybuilding with life and relationships.
Oh, okay.
What do you say?
I said, oh, okay. I don't know. That one can be tough. It can be tough. I think it can be tough. I know a lot of people over the course of the last couple of years have really been like, it's this thing where, you choose this and like make sure, like stay positive, blah, blah, blah. Listen, when you're in contest prep and, or when you're pushing up through a big push phase, it's a demanding sport. You know what I mean? It's a demanding lifestyle. It's probably the better way of putting that. And at the end of the day, there's going to be times where, you're either exhausted, or you're piling food down your throat, and it can be very consuming, and it's just hard. It's hard to balance all those. At least it was for me. Honestly, it was a big thing for me trying to balance both of those, and trying to give adequate attention to both areas, right? Relationships, family, whatever it is, even work. to a certain extent, and being able to manage the bodybuilding thing. So for me, you know, I really had to look at it like which one's more important at a given time and really focus on that one, which is probably why I'm not competing anymore or trying to compete anymore. But again, I do think it's hard. I think it's one of those things where you got to make sure that you are set up for that in a proper way, where it's like you are in a healthy relationship. You are, you know, you're not, you know, I would like, you know, Steve, like you decided not to compete because your wife is pregnant. You're going to have another child here. You know what I mean? And it's something where you decided to delay, and which again is a smart, mature decision. Doesn't mean you're not competitive. You're just doing it in a different way right now, rather than, you know, going into a competition prep, you know?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think one of the biggest things too is just like, you know, obviously it's being around people who obviously support whatever the vision and goal is you have, right? I think that's a big thing. There's also too realizing and learning that like at the end of the day, the people who do support, who are there for you, support you and all that, like learning that balance, especially in the off season. If like you compete every year, say, or like every other year, and your goal is to become a professional, like understanding that like it's okay to eat out in the off season and like have that one-on-one time with your partner, your significant other, a friend, a parent, a sibling, and like you can still eat on plan and just make wiser choices instead of like this person being like, Steve, why the fuck do you always have to have Tupperware when you go out? You know, why can't you just like get chicken like in the off season, right? Prep's a different story, and that's where I think it comes into like people understanding what you're trying to do and supporting it. But at the end of the day, that's 16 to 20 weeks, right? The other 8 months of the year, it's like, I think finding that balance is very good, right? Because sometimes if somebody doesn't understand it, you're going to push them away.
Yeah, see, the only thing that I would say about that is wouldn't that be like, hey, you want to be around people that are fully supportive of you, right? Like, wouldn't that be that, you know, in terms of like, you know, that significant other, like you're saying, having that Tupperware with them is going to push them away. I think it comes down to you as the individual. Like, do you have a Tupperware with you and you're going to enjoy, you know, your family, you're going to enjoy your significant other, whatever it is, and you're eating out of a Tupperware, let's say, right? To me, that's one thing, right? Because again, you're there to enjoy, you are enjoying it, right? They're enjoying your company versus the person that's like, oh, you know, I can't eat this because I have to have this Tupperware. They're making a big deal out of the fact that they have a Tupperware, or maybe they're putting themselves on a pedestal because they're deciding to eat that versus the other person's eating a burger. You know what I mean? So it's like, I think there's a way of going about that too. But again, in my opinion, the people that support that thought process of, oh, that's just Steve or that's just Tim, they have their Tupperware, this is what they do, this is their lifestyle. You know, those are the people that I want to be around, whether I'm in the off season or I'm in contest prep, because for me, it's really like, I want to be as on as I can be at all times. And even if in the off season, if I get one free meal, if I get one free meal, I'll choose that free meal wisely and I'll eat it at a time with my kids or with my wife, whatever it is. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's one of those things where there's going to be plenty of opportunities outside of that to fuck up and then justify it with the reality of, oh, but I want to spend time with my loved ones. You know, people can run away with that. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's cool.
It is a balancing act. There's no doubt about
100%.
that. You know, it's kind of like give and take, right?
Yep.
You know, so like I said, too, I think a very large part of it is if you're with somebody, it's somebody who's actually supporting it, right? And what you're trying to do, or whether it's parents, siblings, significant other. That I think that's a huge part of it.
Yeah, 100%.
Because, dude, I mean, and I've been in like fucking preps where like we're going to a fucking Flyers game and I'm like shoving fucking tilapia and green beans and a fucking bag down my crotch.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like it is what it is. But in the off season, like those are two things. It's like learning and knowing your body too. Like for me, if I'm going to a hockey game with my wife in the off season and I'm like, okay, do I need to bring that Tupperware of chicken and rice and avocado, or can I just get like chicken tenders with her there and fries? Like, it's not going to harm me at all. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know, whereas like somebody might fucking gain 7 pounds of water and it might take a week to come off. Like, you know, I think too, that's also a huge thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Push it and knowing your body too. Like,
Yeah, because like what is the off season is what it comes down to. You know what I mean? Like I have plenty of people right now that are in off seasons where it's like, hey, we got to make progress right now. Like we're in a position where it's like, if you want to compete next year, if you want to compete the year after that, whatever the time frame is, like we got to progress now. You know what I mean? It's like it's off season, but like, hey, you got to stick to your plan for the predominant amount, you know, for the most part here. And again, there's going to be things that pop up, and that's usually what I try to tell people is when it comes to your lifestyle, like things are going to happen, you know, naturally without you forcing them to happen. So in other words, you don't have to like try to create something this weekend as a special occasion. You're going to have a special occasion pop up here, whether it's the next holiday that rolls around, whether it's somebody's birthday that comes around, whether it is somebody's anniversary, whatever it is. Like these things happen, you know what I mean? So where you're going to get plenty of off time during the year to be able to enjoy that time with your significant other. And then I think the real point that we keep making here is make sure that you have a solid foundation around you to where they're supportive. Like your dad to me just keeps coming to mind right now, where it's like if your dad, like if you were, you know, whatever, if this was X amount of years ago and your dad was like, hey, let's go out to eat, your dad's not going to like put you in an awkward situation where he's going to make you feel like you got to eat with him or some shit. He's probably going to force a meal down your throat. You know what I mean? A good meal. Oh shit. I forgot Gianna's question. She has one that we got to get to here. But she also, what would you say for someone who doesn't sleep?
Like that, you got it.
I do. I have one more that was
I'm done.
So her question was creatine monohydrate. Is it worth it for muscle growth? And when to start taking it or not?
So I think creatine is a very good supplement. I think it's great. I think most people will benefit from taking it, but I also think it's the most overrated fucking supplement.
Amen. Everybody basically knows that's my thought process. No, like I was definitely going to say that. 100%.
So it's a great supplement.
There's some of the most recent research on this was by Brad Schoenfeld, Alan Aragon, like a lot of these guys that are basic like science, you know, approach. Like they're very science oriented, and everything needs to be proven. And when something is proven, they'll change everything they've ever done just because this one study that they did showed X, Y, and Z, right? And they did this recently on creatine. And again, if you look at any of their pages after they did this study, they all posted about it and they were like, you know, it's a very efficacious supplement to use. It literally, if you read the study, basically what it came down to is at a certain point, they literally put in there, and I'd have to read it verbatim. So I don't remember exactly what the exact verbiage was, but it was something to the extent of, you know, people should consider, right? Like the relative difference that you're going to get from an actual muscle growth perspective. And there's other benefits to creatine, by the way, than just muscle growth. There's cardio effects, there's cardiovascular effects, et cetera, et cetera. But again, for muscle growth.
For that shit.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. Exactly. So, or for just ATP production, which is what people miss when it comes to creatine. Like, you know, that's something that's going to be a cellular energy thing where it's like, you know, that's going to have an impact on the way the body operates as a whole. But the point that I was making there on that research, you know, they basically came back to say like people, before they purchase creatine as a supplement, they should consider the nominal effect that it gives you from a muscle growth standpoint per the money that it might cost you. So everybody's thing is always like, it's cheap, you might as well buy. Even if it costs you whatever, $25, $30, the reality is it's not going to make that big of a percentage mover, right, throughout the course of the year to add creatine, that you're going to see this difference in the way your body looks as it comes to, you know, actually supplementing with creatine. You know what I mean? And yeah, I know there's hyper responders and there's low responders. I would just say when it comes to creatine, doesn't matter what kind you're taking, monohydrate, any of the fancy ones, it's just not going to be something where you see a significant difference. That being said, it's not bad to take by any stretch of imagination. There's really minimal to no side effects that come from it, unless you have some sort of reaction, maybe from an allergy standpoint. But at the end of the day, it's also just one of those things where it's like, know what you're getting yourself into. Because to your point, everybody online overrates it. They say it's the best muscle building supplement that's clinically proven, yada, yada. And it's like,
food. That's fucking food.
100%. I'd rather somebody spend their money on food or improving their training.
That's what I was about to say. I would rather somebody like say fuck creatine, right? You don't even need to take it, and let's just have you eat an extra 500 calories a day for the next year.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean?
100%. And that to me is a no-brainer too. Like a no-brainer. Like the extra 500 calories definitely gonna make you grow.
Rather put your protein up by 50 grams, have you eat another fucking 50 grams of carbs and like 15 more grams of fat. You know what I mean? Because that's the protein's gonna build the muscle, not the creatine.
Yeah. And then anything for her mom who has trouble as a insomniac, for someone that doesn't sleep through the night. So I guess they fall asleep, but they don't sleep through the night ever.
You want a CPAP machine.
That could be it. Yeah. See if they have any type, like do a sleep study.
Your mom get a sleep study and try a CPAP machine. That honestly, that helped my dad a ton. My dad actually got the CPAP that goes in you. He got it a few months ago, and he said it's the best sleep he's ever had.
Damn. Apigenin is a supplement, and I don't know if I'm even pronouncing that right, but Apigenin. Yeah. Yeah. Apigenin. And actually, if you pulled it up, first thing that came up was Apigenin for sleep. But that has been shown to help people stay asleep more effectively. And actually, if you just type that into Google, one of the first things that comes up is therapeutic potential of Apigenin.
Has she tried medical marijuana?
I don't know. That's something we'd have to ask Gianna.
I mean, I'm being serious. Like, it's,
See, I would say when it comes to staying asleep, that's the thing. Like THC has really mixed reviews. And I know Marina right now is big on her Oura Ring. And she's actually found that like when she does smoke prior to going to bed, that it's the Oura Ring is telling her like that's the reason why she's not getting as quality deep sleep is the THC. So she's cut that out and actually moved the melatonin, which she finds based off of the sleep information the Oura Ring is giving her, that the melatonin is far more effective at keeping her asleep than the THC is. Even though THC is great to get you to fall asleep.
That shit knocks me the fuck out.
Yeah, I don't know. I think at this point I smoke way too much to be able to comprehend whether it is and I don't even smoke that much, but I smoke every fucking night, so I don't even know anymore. I'm trying to see if this particular study had anything in it, or this review anyway, had anything in it. Potential treatment for inflammatory disorders that relates to central nervous system, like multiple sclerosis and shit. But yeah, we could find some research on that. Gianna, you just have to remind me at check-in. But I would definitely say the Apigenin, you can find that on Amazon easily to help stay asleep. But yeah, you got anything else?
No.
Yeah, I think everybody else got bored too because we're down to fucking 4 people watching. Shit, fucking Marina and Matt don't come for fucking 1 episode and we're down to 4 people. How the fuck that happened? We're supposed to be we're the big dogs here, god damn it. All right. This is our goddamn show.
Not us. This ain't our show no more, bro. This is the people's show.
Damn straight.
We're just 2 old men now, bro.
Damn straight. And don't let anybody tell you otherwise. All right, so I don't know how to close this out because Marina usually does that, but I guess we'll just tell everybody bye. Say bye, Steve.
See you later, guys. Thanks for watching. See you next Tuesday. Hopefully we'll have our other people back. And
that way you guys stay the entire time.
That's all I got.
Have a good night, guys.
See you.
All right, now everybody's going to hear this on the podcast because I don't know how to stop this recording. Man is recording.
What are you doing? The end of